California observing a Quercus Agrifolia, the California live oak. It's certainly well beyond heritage size, which is considered 3 foot in diameter. This is 5, perhaps almost 6 feet in diameter. So this is a very old tree, established tree, native to the site, and it has passed through many tribulations in order to be at the state that we see it now. We know that this area burned in 1933. There was a fire and flood that took place back then. There was also another fire that took place in 1976, and there was a corresponding flood after that. And so we're seeing it in its current state, in its current condition. There's a lot of vigor evident in the tree. The condition of the bark looks really good. We can see a vein of expansion. Fresh tissue is being deposited. The tree is expanding in girth and storing energy. There is an accumulation of deadwood that is now present in the tree. It hasn't been pruned in a very, very long time. And so we're seeing that accumulation of shade out dieback and deadwood. Some of it even still is related to the 76 fire over 35 years ago. We still see damage from that fire evident in the tree's canopy. We see the old scars on the tree's body. Here we have a very, very large fire scar on the underside of the limb here from the 76 fire 35 years ago. Big fire swept through here, burned the tree black. Every leaf was burned off the tree, and the underside of many of the large lateral limbs were burned severely. So we had large areas of bark loss. We can see the tree's response to these injuries over the many years now. What the tree has done is rolled in large cambium callus, living tissue is rolling in from both sides down underneath the limb in an effort to close up this enormous wound. Our fire scar injury begins about 6 feet from the main stem, from the main trunk, begins right here, and then we can see on the underside of the limb it's coming out, a deep wound, 3-4 inches deep, comes all the way out. We still have living tissue, live cambium rolling in from both sides, coming all the way out, and this is about the extent of the living tissue. Beyond this point out here, we find that very little of this limb is alive. The bark is coming off. Can you see that? It's loose on this limb. The tree has let go its grip on this limb, and we're down to structural wood here, which is at the end, not living tissue. As we see, this structure is still alive, and we're going to retain this last vein of circulation, but all of this dead tissue will be removed. We do want to mitigate the decay issue that is resulting from this trunk wood being bare of bark for all these years. That long exposure to weather without the protection of bark, it's very easy for decay organisms to get started in the tree. We want to slow down that decay process so the tree has more time to heal this enormous wound. So we're going to make an application of our extract of orange rind oil. We're just going to spray this wound from the underneath side of the limb and wet it down and try to arrest decay and decomposition to give the tree more time to heal this enormous wound. We're only going to treat the wound out as far as we're going to retain it. Beyond that point where the injury has caused the limb to die, we're going to excise that from the tree. We're only treating the area of the wound that is going to be retained in the tree's canopy.